Hello and welcome to the final race of 2025. And yeah, I know this year went by so fast. Just wow. This year went by way faster than last year did. So yeah, we are now already at the final race of the year. And as usual, it is a tiebreaker race because, well, obviously we do have to break up the ties before we get to the Marble Race Series Awards next week. And of course, the format of how that video is going to be released could change depending on the circumstance. But I will let y'all know in advance. So yeah. So speaking of which, we have 40 tie marbles right here. And since we have 40 marbles, obviously I do have to split them up into two separate groups, just so things won't be too chaotic or anything. So yeah. So of course, Group A right here, which of course is the red group, and of course we have 20 marbles in this group. And for Group B, or yeah, Heat B, whatever you want to call it, is of course the blue group, and of course it does have the same amount of marbles as Group A. And of course the marbles have been split into groups based off their leaderboard scores. So of course I will show that off right now, in which the groups that have the marbles leaderboard scores. So yeah, I'm not going to go over it just to save up some time. So yeah, so those are the groups that the marbles are going to be in. So yeah, and of course we cannot go over this race without showing off the non-ties, which are of course they're just sitting over here. And this year we're just back down to 6 non-ties. So yeah, not as much as last year, but hey, better than nothing. So of course the non-tied marbles we have over here are Blood Red, Mars Orange, Leaf Green, Cat's Eye Red, Cat's Eye Blue, and Crystal. So those are your 6 non-ties that are gonna be sitting this race out for this year. So yeah, those are your non-ties. And of course we also can't go over this race without showing off the track, because yes, the track has definitely been shifted for the sake of this race. So let's just show that off right now. So here's this huge contraption of a track I made that's only going to be used for this episode exclusively, as you see right here. And yes, we are combining both of these sets into one again, just to comply with the amount of marbles that are going to be competing in, that are going to be racing down this track. So yeah. And yeah, it is a pretty tall track, but of course it's only going to be used for this episode just to comply with the amount of marbles that are going to be going down this track. So yeah, nothing to go over, as it's obviously a combination with both of these sets right here. And of course we do have the red base right there for Group A, but once we get to Group B, I will change the base to a blue base to fit the colors of the respective groups. So yeah. But anyways, that's about it for the track. Nothing much to go over, as it is gonna be used for this race only. So if you are able to replicate this track, then feel free to use it. Just make sure to credit me. So yeah, if you do have the tendency to use this track, then obviously make sure to give me credit. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be about it for this huge track right here. So yeah, before we start racing, I have one more thing to go over. Sunny Yellow, who is our world champion over here, is actually competing in this episode, since his leaderboard score is tied with Murky Blue's. So therefore, he is obviously required to compete in this episode, just so he can break up the tie with Murky Blue. So this marks as the first time we have had a world champion compete in a tiebreaker race since 2022's tiebreaker race. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, I guess there's basically nothing else for me to go over. So now let's just get to racing, beginning with Group A. So choose any one of the Group A or Heat A members do you think will win, and you only have 5 seconds to guess. Go. And now we shall begin Group A right now. Okay, whatever. And that's gonna be about it for Group A, or Heat A, whatever you like to call it. Congratulations to Black Hole on scoring first place, while unsurprisingly placing last is Jungle, because his 2025 was a pretty terrible one all year round, along with Space Blacks. And yeah, unsurprisingly, both of these two scored in the bottom two positions, which just goes to show how terrible their year has been all around. So therefore, both of them are gonna have to go back into developmental in 2026. So yeah. Anyways, now we are now done with Group A, which is the red group. Now we shall move over to Group B, or Heat B, whatever you like to call it, which is also the blue group. So now choose any one of these 20 marbles from the blue group or Group B do you think will win, and you only have 5 seconds to guess. Go. And now, let Group B begin right now. And that's about it for Group B, or Heat B. Congratulations to Ocean Cat's Eye on scoring the W, while sadly placing last is See-Through Neon. And so yeah, both heats have now been concluded, so now we shall show off the final results for both of the groups, in which of course it is going to be quite a long one, so sit tight as you read all of the final results. And that's going to be about it for not only this episode, but also all of Marble Races, tournaments, and teamwork racing and everything for 2025. So therefore, I want to say thank you to everyone so much who has watched all of my Marble Races throughout 2025. This year was an absolutely amazing year for Marble Racing, and I could even say that this year was even better than 2023, because especially with the transition from Chapter 3 to Chapter 4, which took place earlier this year, and of course with everything else that happened this year. So yeah, so of course I absolutely cannot wait to see what 2026 has in store for Marble Racing. let's hope that it could either be just as good or maybe even better than this year, but we're gonna have to see. But for now, that's gonna be about it for not only this episode but also the entirety of the Marble Race series for 2025. And now we set our sights to the Marble Race Series Awards, which is going to be taking place next week. And of course, like I said, the format of how that video is going to be released could change depending on the circumstance. But of course, I will let y'all know. But anyways, that's going to be about it for this episode. So hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up to share your support. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Subscribe to that notification bell enabled, and feel free to follow all my socials down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And for Marble Race Series fans, see you guys at the awards next week. So now, that's about it for this. Bye bye for now, and have a good day.